I would say marriage is something like an earned title. It's a legal, you also legally sign a document when you get married, right?
Hmm.
So you earned something, marriage, it's earned. Kismat se milti hai, right? Not everyone, you will see a lot of cases where people don't get married.
Right.
And delayed marriages, they don't get married, their marriages fail, right? And so that's going to be our topic today. I'm going to try and show you how marriage can change someone's life, right? There
Got
are
it.
a lot of youth even out there today who are neglecting sort of getting married and settling down due to certain fears they have of their own. But I'll try to show you today how marriage can actually give things like Bhagya Uday. There's a term you must have. So I'll show you via a chart how a person had good fortune in life after marriage. And then I'll show you another chart where the case was different. Okay. But coming to marriage, I'll ask you, what are your thoughts? How do you, with astrology, look at marriage?
Reason. Like people are not chosen as a life partner just even though we've met through a dating app, like for us that there was a story behind it. And I feel like for everyone that is the case, even though there is separation, even though there is divorce, it is still a part of that karma that you have to fulfill that journey with someone. And which is why I already labeled it as a spiritual journey and not like a material journey. But marriage today is perceived more materialistically, even the gift exchanges and how big my house is going to be after marriage, will I get a car. So it's moved to that, but I wish like a lot more people saw it as a inner growth and transformation after marriage as a more critical point versus like what do they get from marriage as um, material gain.
People, they have started expecting a lot from something like marriage. And what they don't understand is that marriage, of course, like I said, you earn it. Something is earned, you have to revere it, you have to respect it equally, right? You have to make sacrifices for earning. It's something very big. It's a major event in a person's life.
In terms of astrological birth chart, let's say 50 years back and today for a woman,
Hmm.
with these change of values that you're saying, how do you still see it? I'm still coming back to the astrological part because the birth chart existed 50 years back too, but there women made a sacrifice or men did certain
Exactly.
things in terms of responsibilities. What has changed?
Like you said, materialism has really, really
We're
taken.
living in the Rahu's world.
Exactly. You're living in Kali, you're living in, this is a very rough stage. So people, they are attracted to certain things. They're easily influenced. And materialism has easily got on with everything. हर किसी को कुछ चाहिए, right? Everyone wants something.
Hmm.
Okay. And in that they see what happens is I understand cases where people are in bad marriages,
Hmm.
where they have ended up in marriages with bad people, or they have ended up in marriages which were toxic.
Or abusive.
Exactly. But what I'm trying to tell you is that marriage does require a certain level of sacrifice for it to work.
So, what signifies a tough marriage? What kind of chart or placements will mean that even if you get married, you have a lot of compromises, sacrifices?
So, like, if you now that you have spoken of a tough marriage, all right. Now I'll show you a chart of two natives. I'll show you two charts. If you look at this chart,
Hmm.
there's a native born on November 19th, 1987. You can look at the details. We mix
Hmm.
everything. So let's just say, speak of it generally. Seventh
Hmm.
house, right? And Venus. Now, if you look carefully in the chart, look at the Lagna, the ascendant, the
Hmm.
personality of the native, and look at all the three planets in it. They will directly aspect the seventh house, correct?
Right.
What does this do for a native's marriage
And
or marriage life?
we know that Mars and Mercury is very
Creates a
like you're
very, exactly, very impulsive sort of person.
very angry,
And then it
conflicted
sits along with
mind. So mind has also that quality.
moon can also show signification related to the mother.
Right.
But yes, this combination will show a person who is very impulsive. They like to speak very quickly. Right.
But Mars also brings a little bitterness in speaking, like
Aggression,
harshness,
harshness.
aggression. Yeah.
Correct. Now, if you look at the Rashis that we relate to marriage, the signs in astrology that we relate to marriage are Libra,
Hmm.
correct? And if you look at Libra, it's in the ascendant. and these three planets are in Libra. Now we see an aggressive sort of combination happening in the ascendant, correct?
Hmm.
We also see the moon is in the ascendant. Whenever the moon is in the ascendant, and especially it's with Mars, you'll see a very moody sort of person, a very moody kind of personality.
Yeah, and
And in
right behind it is Ketu. So Moon and Ketu also form certain affluence, right?
certain, but this is a very, you have to look at the combination in the first house. Forget looking
Okay.
at anything else. Just look at the Rashi of Libra if you want to judge the quality of marriage, and the seventh house of the natal planet.
Hmm. Hmm.
Remember, marriage is the top. So what I want
Yeah.
to say is, what do these planets do to the person's marriage? शादी के बाद क्या होगा? If you just look at Libra, we can say that there will be a conflict right after the marriage.
Hmm.
Not a conflict that is very that will break the marriage or anything, but as in there is an opinion, a difference of opinion between husband and wife.
But mother too, right? Mother-in-law in this case, or
Mother,
the wife.
as a child, the mother might have tried to control this kid a lot, but we are just talking about marriage right now with this native and his
Hey,
seventh
by the
house.
way, half the marriages break because of mother-in-law. That's why I am bringing that topic again and again. Like
That's
mother's
very true.
role in that whole
बस
situation.
यहाँ देखो इस इंसान की शादी के बाद या शादी के अराउंड क्या हुआ इसके साथ, हमें ये
Hmm.
प्रेडिक्ट करना है। हमने देख लिया इसकी पर्सनालिटी फायरी है, थोड़ी अग्रेसिव है, ही इज इम्पल्सिव, ओके।
Huh, huh.
And then what is the next thing we look at? We will look at Venus to see
I
how
was
the
going to
wife.
say this. What change, like Sun and Saturn. So with
That is
Venus,
a yes with Venus. So what does that tell you about the wife of the native?
won't get along with father-in-law.
That's also correct. And
So Sun, you know the story, right? Chaya and the whole situation. So like I think it would overpower the woman, and the woman may feel like she wants to go into isolation. She may not be able to bear like the aggression that's coming to her. That's how I'd like to articulate it.
so what has happened is
And Saturn, so
right,
traditional husband probably, very traditional guy probably, family, sorry, very traditional family.
that will also depend on the family study. Let's say that yes.
Hmm.
So if you look at the chart and you look at other things, you grab a feel that the person's probably impulsive and probably very how do I say, he's very outspoken. Now I'll tell you one thing. Marriage gave this person a lot of luck, Bhagya Uday, fortune. As soon as marriage happened for this person, as soon as marriage happened for this person, I'll come to how and when it happened. But as soon as it happened, things really picked up in his life. See, if you can look at Venus, Venus is Karka of marriage as well, of wife, of wealth. Venus is sitting in Scorpio. So Venus sits in Scorpio, what does it do? Transformation triggers due to marriage. Life changes. इंसान की जिंदगी बदली शादी से भाग्योदय हुआ. Saturn sitting over there, correct? What can you say? Saturn sits there, Bhagyodaya happens. So what happens with this guy related to Saturn? His profession picks up.
Yeah, I was going to say his karma in work will
Exactly.
unfold.
His car. So and not just once, twice his profession picked up. He took a promotion, quit, and that got an even better job.
Scorpio is not the best placement for Venus, is why. But in
Yes.
this case, you see, still it's doing so well for him. So I'm just mentioning.
Like, can you predict how and when marriage might have happened?
What is the Madasha going on right now?
So
Does it,
Mahardash,
or you want
yeah,
me to just say it without
this is the Mahardash.
Jupiter? Madasha is going on.
Since 2007, November.
I'm pretty sure when either Jupiter crossed Venus or Venus crossed to Jupiter.
Exactly. Before that period is when it happened.
Before?
Yes. When Saturn was crossing Venus, and at the same time, Jupiter was crossing the ascendant or Libra, passing over his first house. That's
Okay.
when marriage happened for this person in November 2017. When marriage happened, acquired wealth. He acquired money after marriage, savings.
Hmm.
But we also see certain issues, like you said, aggressive nature, difference of opinion. So there are certain issues in this person's life, with his in his marriage, where he has a difference of opinion with his wife. They don't always agree on things. Every second or third day, he will come up and say that we've had a fight. we've had a disagreement. Nothing is wrong as such,
Hmm.
but there are certain issues. Okay, so you can say for this native, marriage did him good.
So I have two charts, and I'll tell you the connection after we finish. The celebrity charts, they're pretty popular on the internet, but I've hidden the name for now just for the sake of conversation so we don't end up judging someone. But this is the first chart,
So,
and I've put
obvious.
some information here if you need to.
So, like I was trying to do it with the same chart, with the chart earlier. I try to use the same.
Yeah,
You see
you
seven
tell me now
clouds.
because if I get, I already know the person, right? Like I know the celebrity, so if I say anything, it'll feel pretentious. You go ahead. Yeah, you didn't. I'm just letting everyone know you didn't have this chart earlier. I just brought it up, so you go ahead.
So, seventh lord, look at it in the 10th house, sitting with Mars. Very aggressive person, very masculine personality. Okay, a lot of ego on this person. Very dignified son, Surya. Okay, and there's an aspect. Let me check. And what's the dasha of this person? Right?
Mm, I think it is Mercury. Started very recently,
Go back to
but
the chart.
the
Sade
person
Sati
is
energy
Sade Sati. Yeah, I was gonna say
of
the
this
same. Yeah,
person. Man, this is Salman Khan's chart.
yeah, it is.
Okay. This is
that
Salman chart.
that failed so miserably. I thought I was put it up.
Instantly, the Mars combination and the other things, and it's just you start to make out something you've seen before. It's okay.
Okay, this is the second chart. Anything about the
Person
marriage?
must have met their partner traveling, or must have, because there's Mars, Venus, and there is Sagittarius. Maybe one or two long-term relationships. This is a chart where marriage case is damaged, or maybe there are multiple marriages, many relations, not once, twice. So the marriage scenario looks damaged. The childhood also looks pretty harsh.
But also all Kendra have uh,
Tough
okay.
combinations, hard planet. Kendra, whenever you see planets in harsh planets in Kendras, okay, malefic planets in Kendras, you can understand that the base of the life, the childhood of the person was tough. It was the unfolding of life was harsh, is how I should put it. So this person had a tough childhood, but look at the career, the house of wealth, this person, the way the person speaks. He's a very rich person.
Also Ketu ascendant, so very depth in
A lot
personality.
of depth in the personality. And you look at the 12th house,
Hmm.
very, very beautiful yoga.
What is the Jupiter Moon yoga
It's
in
called
Pisces?
Gajkesari.
Yeah.
Gajkesari. Now you try to look at the combination, right? Moon is the mind. Okay,
Hmm.
it's emotions. And then there is Jupiter supporting. So how does so it supports the person's emotions, right? How does this
Hmm.
person respond to emotional situations? They will always eventually they will always think well. Jupiter, hope, right? Works with faith. This person has faith. See in the 12th
Hmm.
house, very powerful.
Hmm. Yeah. I'll tell you whose chart it is.
Let me try to
It's
guess.
ठीक है, guess. You have a hint though. It's connected somehow to the previous chart we saw.
What
I'll
is
give
this?
you three.
Amitabh Bachchan?
No,
No, Amitabh Bachchan has Rahu in the fifth.
but you're close.
Okay. Oh, Aishwarya Rai.
No, but you're very close.
Venus Rahu combination. So Abhishek Bachchan.
Yeah. I was going to say that he is highly intelligent. There's a lot of depth, but most people don't know it. And like I've told you, I'm saying from experience, Ketu ascendants are very misunderstood because most people don't get it. Like they don't just, they can't wrap their heads around it.
Understandable.
Yeah. So,
But this guy he has had a lot of he has had a tough time. He's been put out of his comfort zone many times in his life.
yeah, I think when he was a child is when Amitabh Bachchan was declaring his bankruptcy. This guy called and said, Daddy, can I come and help you out right away? And all that also happened. So I'm pretty sure like it's not as easy as we're making it out to be. But then he married, he had a engagement with Karishma Kapoor, if I'm not wrong. And then that didn't work out. And then he got married. So that part is also correct that he's had multiple relationships.
Multiple relations are visible in the chart,
Yeah.
right? And marriage to a rich woman because of the Mars Venus yoga.
And that Aishwarya Rai has Venus Rahu combination.
Very rich woman. You know, Venus Rahu is a combination related to these famous people. All right. transits of Saturn and Jupiter, especially
Mm.
going over planets like Venus and going over houses like first or seventh, or certain placements where they can influence the seventh house. And they'll create certain yogas for the marriage time. And you can judge based on these things how the person's marriage will, what will it do for them. क्या देख सकते हैं आप, है ना? So through astrology, we can see what quality of marriage and what kind of wife or husband person we find.